Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Starting this morning with partly cloudy skies over downtown Raleigh and here in North Hills. We will see increasing clouds this afternoon and a small chance of showers. I'll show you who may see it.
Supplies are being sent to western North Carolina from some kind everyday folks in our area. We'll give you a look at the trucks leaving this morning full of donated water and food.
And up to 30 feet of water surrounding an Asheville apartment building. Hear from the man who took the scary video as flooding destroyed the streets below. His apartment up on the third floor, and he describes just watching large objects just floating away there in the flood waters. What a week it has been for our state, and we made it to Friday. We thank you for joining us as we update you on all situations in western North Carolina. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, thanks for making us part of your routine. So true. It's been a week since Helene, and what a week. And Friday, exhale just a little bit. Everybody needs a break. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now with this live look down in Southern Pines. That fog there, we're dark still.
Just starting to see some hints of it here in the Sandhills. When we take a look at the visibility at the sensor, it's not showing up yet. But sometimes fog is just, compact and just very small areas. But definitely here on the golf course, Longleaf Golf and Family Club, we're seeing a little bit of it. Our dew point is lower than yesterday. That's a measure of moisture in the atmosphere. So we may not see our fog as widespread. As a matter of fact, you take a look at visibility, nobody's down to a quarter of a mile. Matter of fact, everybody's at about 10 miles, except for 6 miles there in Southern Pines. We'll see increasing clouds this afternoon and a small chance of a shower during the evening hours. It wouldn't be much, and it's mostly going to be in our western counties. 83, the high temperature today with some sunshine mixed in. We now have this area of disturbed weather in the Gulf of Mexico back up to a 40% chance of developing. Some of the models do want to develop something here in the eastern part of the Gulf, but they move it across Florida. Of course, it could be, 5 to 8 inches of rain for folks in Florida, but it doesn't look like any rain for us. We're going to see a nice fall feel headed our way. I'll show you when that arrives. Coming up, Ken.
6:01, Elizabeth. Good news for any of you getting ready to head out this morning. A delay-free on all of our major roads in the Triangle and surrounding communities. Let's head outside and give you a look at one of those major roads. This is I-40 and Airport Boulevard. Of course, this is one direction that people take to go to RD International, so you will get to the airport on time this morning. If you're heading out with the changing traffic conditions, you can always listen to us on 101.5 HD3 throughout the Triangle. You also have a couple of options in Raleigh, 99.3 FM, and in Durham, 96.5 FM.
Today marks 1 week since Helene hit. As communities in western North Carolina and other states work on recovering, the death toll is rising. As of this morning, we know the storm is responsible for at least 215 deaths across the south and southeast. Yesterday afternoon, we learned 105 of those deaths were in North Carolina, 72 in Buncombe County alone. We just checked powerautages.us, and right now there are nearly 245,000 people in North Carolina still without power. That does mean since the peak of the outages last Friday, power has been restored for more than 700,000 customers.
Renee, also today, several truckloads of supplies will be leaving Johnston County, headed for western North Carolina. The Johnston County Sheriff's Office has teamed up with a trucking company in Selma to deliver that urgent relief. WRAL's Heidi Kirk joins us live from Airflow Trucking in Selma. And those drivers, Heidi, have been hitting the roads all week long to help folks up in the mountains.
Well, Jeff, just within the next few hours, this area at the Johnston County Sheriff's Office is going to be filled with volunteers loading up those trucks. Look at some of the things that they're getting donations for. We have things like dry food, down here cleaning products, things like diapers and wipes, all essential supplies that some people in western North Carolina haven't had access to in days. Now, go ahead and take a look at the footage on your screens. We experienced the moment that 5 trucks from Airflow headed out to western North Carolina just this morning within the last hour or so. It is their second batch of tractor trailers. They had 4 head out earlier this week, and those are filled to the brim with essential supplies that volunteers loaded up. It is headed to Henderson County, where the National Guard is going to distribute those supplies to Asheville and beyond. And of course, these are, again, things that some people have not had access to in so long. And so they're really essential supplies. And people like you can actually help donate. So if you come here to the Johnston County Sheriff's Office this morning, anytime between 8:30 and 5 p.m. today, you can drop off any of these supplies, and eventually they'll get loaded into a truck and make that same journey to Western North Carolina. And we have details on our website on how you can get involved. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News, live in Johnston County.
Manna Food Bank in Asheville has moved to a temporary location after their main headquarters was destroyed by Helene. WRAL's Monica Casey joins us live from Asheville. And Monica, Al Roker and the Today Show will be there this morning.
That's right. Good morning, Renee. We're here at that temporary location for Manna Food Bank. You can see they're operating out of things like this after their permanent location was destroyed by Hurricane Helene. We'll be speaking with Al Roker in less than 30 minutes. He and the Today Show are here to spotlight their Lend a Hand series. That's where they help communities hit by natural disasters and spotlight the people in these communities who are rallying together to help. Al participated in a flyover with FEMA Director Deanne Criswell yesterday, and he spent time on the ground with relief workers. We'll hear from him coming up live right around 6:35 here on WRAL. Live in Asheville, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
And so that's coming up in 30 minutes. Monica speaking live with Al Roker in an interview as the work on the ground in Asheville continues for the Lend a Hand Today series.
Your time is 6:05 here on the WRAL Live Center. I wanted to bring you an update that we received overnight. Remember that story we told you about maybe 12-ish hours ago regarding those 11 workers at that Tennessee plastics factory? There were quite a few that were swept away. Some died, some still missing, some were found. And there were some employees who survived said that essentially they were not allowed to leave. Well, the CEO of that plastics company, Gerald O'Connor, he says that he and his family have received death threats since this happened. And so he wanted to set the record straight. He says they reviewed what happened that day, and employees were told about 45 minutes before the flooding happened to leave. He said after checking to make sure everyone was out of the plant and to rescue important files, he was one of the last people to leave the plant and luckily escaped. Now, to be clear, he does mention that that company is in the process of working with investigators to get a full scope of what happened versus what employees are saying and what he is saying they did during the review.
We've been trying to get Sky 5 to the North Carolina mountains for the past several days. The weather just didn't cooperate, but finally conditions improved and we were able to make our first trip. So now we can see from above people who are hard at work restoring their towns. In many areas, the water is gone, the mud and dirt remain. Trees are still down, utility poles are snapped, whole buildings washed away right off the foundation. In Avery County here, military helicopters staged at the airport. Boone is dealing with muddy roads. Didn't see many major problems at App State's campus, though. Grandfather Mountain, how about this look? The mile-high bridge, it is still swinging. Among all the destruction, we were able to get a good reminder of North Carolina's beauty. The leaves are starting to change, and this lovely waterfall.
We want to show you video of incredible flooding taken in Asheville from a third-floor apartment. So Chris Faber took this video from his apartment in Biltmore Village last week. With all exit doors underwater, all Faber could do was watch the water rise. And he describes the items just passing by his window as he was stuck waiting and watching.
First, there was a lot of kegs, a lot of like propane tanks and things, and then it was shipping containers and vehicles, and then it was whole buildings.
Some of this floodwater came up nearly 30 feet in some areas. For some perspective, or put another way, that's about the depth of Lake Johnson in Raleigh. Faber's building is no longer livable. He's now living out of his workspace in downtown Asheville.
Duke fans have a chance to meet this year's basketball teams ahead of the season and donate as well to Western North Carolina relief funds. The university is partnering with 2 men in a truck for this year's Countdown to Craziness. The moving company will have a Stuff the Truck event during the Fan Fest in Kayville. They're collecting items to donate to survivors of Helene. The men's and women's basketball teams will appear at 5:30. It all gets started at 3 p.m. today in Kville, with the fun continuing with the annual blue-white scrimmage at Cameron Indoor Stadium at 6 o'clock tonight. 10 after 6 is the time right now on your Friday morning, running on the heels of the Summer Olympics. An all-new event puts women's track and field back in the spotlight. Just ahead, why the best in the sport were excited to compete for a paycheck to match their talents.
And it's a return of a familiar event in Selma. We'll tell you about the 49th annual Railroad Days this weekend and why you'll see Jeff Hogan there, plus your other chances to get out and about. Elizabeth.
And the weather for the weekend is looking pretty good. We're going to be quiet for it today. We have just a few isolated showers that could roll in this evening and possibly on Saturday. Our temperatures will remain warm, but I'll show you the big change coming up in our forecast to bring some cooler air coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:12, and we're looking at partly cloudy skies out there this morning. We're going to end up with, of course, a pretty decent day today. Our humidity is a little lower this morning than it was yesterday, and our temperatures are pretty comfortable, 65 degrees right now. Sending the kids out to the bus stop this morning, again, it feels pretty comfortable with those temperatures in the low to mid 60s. This afternoon, it's going to be warm like it's been the last several days. We may end up seeing increasing clouds later this afternoon. It's not such that I would worry about sending the kids out with a raincoat. Later this evening, we may end up with the potential for a shower. And of course, we continue with the warm temperatures, 82 for the high this afternoon, and it stays warm all the way through the weekend. Our highs will remain in the low to mid 80s. For today, looking at lunchtime temperature around 77 and about 80 degrees as folks are coming home.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now. The WRAL Traffic Center give you a live look at I-40 and Rock Quarry Road. Traffic has definitely picked up, but moving nicely in both directions. Live look now on traffic sensors. Nothing but green showing up on the map, which is really good news, particularly if you're getting ready to head out. And with that in mind, you're heading out, pop us on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You also have a couple of other options, 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
It's been dubbed the new wave of track and field. A new event in New York City is designed to popularize the world of women's track. It's called Athlos, and WRAL's Michelle McConaughey is here. We saw how fun it was at the Olympics, right? So
yes.
How about this?
Yes, exactly, Jeff. It's being called the Coachella of sport. Some of the greatest athletes from this year's Summer Olympics were at New York's Icon Stadium, and the star-studded event capitalizing on the growing momentum of women's sports. A crowd of 5,000 fans, celebrities, and athletes all gathered for Athlos. The lineup included 36 women athletes, all competing for a beautiful Tiffany crown, but more importantly, a chance to showcase what they worked so hard for. Athlos founder and entrepreneur Alexis Ohanian, no stranger to the world of women's sports. He's married to tennis megastar Serena Williams, and when he pitched the idea to her, he says that she loved it.
Credit to Serena. I was like, hey, Serena, wouldn't it be nice one day if Olympia played on the national team? And without Mr. B, Serena's like, not until they pay her what she's worth. And I said, challenge accepted.
And according to a 2023 report, on average, female athletes, they earn 21 times less than their male counterparts. Athletes hoping to change that. Every participant went home with some money in their pocket. Paris 2024 bronze medalist Brittany Brown took home the top spot, winning first place and also that beautiful crown.
As many as 1,000 active duty soldiers from Fort Liberty are ready to deploy to help with the relief effort. They are waiting on FEMA and the North Carolina National Guard to provide a coordinated plan. We spoke with the director of operations for U.S. Northern Command about how soon they will get out west.
What I would anticipate is in the coming hours and days that we would have a very synchronized plan that's coordinated well with both FEMA and the National Guard there in the state, so that when we do move out, that it's very synchronized and adds the absolute most value where the National Guard needs those active duty soldiers to go.
The director of operations says the soldiers will be clearing roads and debris. They will then deliver supplies to isolated parts of the state. It is an action-packed weekend in the Triangle with several festivals going on.
Yeah, let's start with the Selma Railroad Days Festival. This is going to be great. 49th year of the festival, presented by WRAL and the town of Selma. It celebrates Selma's rail history with a weekend full of exciting entertainment and activities. The streets will be filled there with live music, food trucks, model train shows. There is a parade. They needed a grand marshal. I accepted. So come join me there. There's vendors, carnival rides. It all starts tonight at 5 and runs through Sunday.
Jeff has a great parade wave, so
That's
wave
right.
hi. The town of Cary is hosting the 10th annual Triangle Oktoberfest this weekend. It kicks off this evening at 5 at Cocoa Booth Amphitheater. It's happening tomorrow as well. There will be food, wiener dog races, stein hoisting, costume contests, and more. Tickets start at $25.
Post Malone is coming to Raleigh this weekend. He'll be at Coastal Credit Union Music Park at Walnut Creek tomorrow night. Show starts at 8. There are tickets still available. Getting off to a nice start to our weekend also, and weather-wise, we're going to look really good.
Yeah, temperatures will be on the warm side for this time of year, 80s, but we should see a lot of sunshine. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRO Severe Weather Center. Right now, we're seeing a lot of clouds out there.
Yeah, some clouds rolling in here and there. There is a little bit of fog that's starting to develop down into the sandhills, but it's not likely to be as widespread as it was yesterday. Our humidity has dropped off a little bit. Our dew point's a bit lower than it was yesterday, and it will continue to drop some over the weekend. A live look at Fayetteville and Apex, as well as Chapel Hill and Raleigh. Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill restaurant there. Looking just quiet for us. Look at the visibility. We're showing up at 10 miles everywhere except Southern Pines at 6 miles. And again, you know, those are sensors in just one spot. So we may have some patchy fog developing in other places that aren't getting picked up by those sensors. Look at the moisture coming up out of the Gulf of Mexico across parts of Georgia and Alabama. Some of that moisture pushing into the mountains, but they're not likely to see anything heavy today. We'll see a disturbance swinging through this evening that could bring just an isolated shower, but shouldn't be anything that causes very much trouble. Eventually, we're going to see a stronger front that comes through and delivers a delightful air mass to the beginning of next week. All right, 8 o'clock this morning here on Futurecast, partly cloudy, but notice that we do start to cloud up some during the afternoon as that disturbance gets closer to us. And you can see that during the evening, a few showers down to the south or potentially in our western counties. But again, I don't think it's going to be much of an impact for us. 20% chance today, and again tomorrow, and then a 20% chance even with that pretty hefty front that comes through on Monday. This is what that front Monday is going to deliver. It's not going to deliver a whole lot of rain, but we don't need it. 73 Tuesday and Wednesday, and our morning lows will be in the 50s. We're going to see nice drop in our humidity. It will feel like fall. You know, we've had a lot of moisture in the atmosphere the last couple of weeks. It's been, you know, sort of tropical feeling, and that will end with that front. The other thing that front will do is keep any development in the Gulf well away from us. We're going to take a look at Kirk, which is a major hurricane, and Leslie, which could become a hurricane later on today. Neither one of those are likely to cause any problems on land. 40% chance now that this could develop into a tropical system, but watch the kind of the path of where that's headed. It looks like it would cross Florida. Central and southern Florida could end up seeing as much as 5 to 8 inches of rain. But a big high pressure system to our north, rotating clockwise, will force all that moisture to the south, and it's likely to cruise across Florida and not affect us here. Kirk, however, could bring some rip current danger to the coast over the weekend. It's a Cat 4 right now, but watch the path of that. It just moves northward out into the Atlantic. And Leslie, the same thing. It's a tropical storm. It's likely to just stay out into the Atlantic. Over the weekend, it'll be warm here. 85 Saturday and 82 on Sunday. And then, of course, it feels so much nicer. I'll show you about when we see that big drop in humidity. Coming up, Ken.
Looking forward to that. And if you're getting ready to head out, here's something you can look forward to. Nothing but green showing up on the map in Wake County. The Beltline, I-540, free and clear this morning. Similarly, in Durham, Hillsborough, Chapel Hill, all those major routes are delay-free this morning. Let's stay in the Bull City, shall we? Go outside, give you a live look at I-885 and TW Alexander Drive. Pictures, photos on me just a little bit, but you get the picture. Traffic is beginning to pick up, but moving nicely in both directions. Those of you listening to us on the radio, we do appreciate that. You can do the same. Listen to us on 101.5 HD3 throughout the Triangle. You have a couple of other options as well, 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Still ahead, a major surprise for rapper Eminem. How his daughter broke the news that she is pregnant as he embraces the grandpa title.
We've also learned a North Carolina firefighter died while rescuing others after Helene. The heartfelt message from the department he called home for more than 17 years.
Today's What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug and Home.
Eminem is going to be a grandpa.
In a classic reveal here. Ken Smith's here now with What's Trending, Ken.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm sure he's very proud of this new title. This video you're about to see for Eminem's new song, Temporary, is a tribute to his daughter, Haley. It ends with her surprising him with the news of her pregnancy by giving him a Detroit Lions jersey with Grandpa on the back.
Oh, Slim Shady. How about it? Will the real G-Pop please stand up?
Hello.
That's pretty cool there. Just seeing her grow up, and I feel like we grew up with them, right? Watching videos and all that from the songs.
Well, he's going to be a young Poppy, 51 years old, but maybe Slim Poppy, that kind of sticks.
I like that, actually. Hey, listen, we got a celebrity split trending this morning. Little Mermaid star Halle Bailey and social media star DDG are no longer together. DDG taking to Instagram stories announcing the couple's split.
And they share an adorable son. That's Halo there that you're seeing pictures of him, and he's about a year old. And they said as they navigate this transition, they will continue to co-parent together and do what's best.
Well, that's good news there.
Ken, thanks for that. Caitlin Clark was a near unanimous choice for the WNBA's Rookie of the Year award. The Indiana Fever guard got 66 out of the 67 first-place votes to take that honor. She was the first overall pick in April's WNBA draft after she set an NCAA Division I record for points scored in women's basketball. Clark also was named first-team All-WNBA, and she won the AP Rookie of the Year award as well.
And in just the next couple of hours, this parking lot at the Johnston County Sheriff's Office is going to be full of volunteers packing up semi-trucks that are going to be headed to Western North Carolina. Coming up, we'll bring you a live update on that effort.
And a pretty sunrise about to develop here across our area, but some clouds later today and maybe even a few sprinkles. I'll show you who could see some rain.